Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
Oh, hello. Happy New Year. Happy 2024 is upon us. Happy New Year, Adrienne.
Thank you.
Everybody out there, we hope you and your family have a healthy and prosperous 2024. You have any messages for anybody?
No. Don't be rude.
Don't be
To
rude.
me.
See,
Specifically.
okay, I won't be. Me specifically, or anybody?
I didn't say you. I said me.
No, I know. Are you saying that to just everybody? Don't be rude to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I'm on your side. Today's episode is a rewind episode because technically what we've decided is that the last episode 80, was the end of the Series 6 episode because we've got a lot of work coming up. So yeah, today is a rewind episode with Mopes, which originally aired on January 23rd, 2022. Before we let it roll, I got a couple of announcements and then a few shares. Series 6, like I said, Series 6 has officially come to an end. The final episode was episode 80 with our kids' band Slughead. Go back and watch that one. It was fun. Also, their album is out now on all streaming formats. It's called Vamps in Space. It's an improv experimental album that they recorded in 2 hours, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool album. Their album release show was a blast. We went to that. The whole live performance of their show is on their YouTube channel. Their YouTube channel is Nale and Soul. Did you want to say anything about the show, or you want to just cruise through these?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Also, when we return for Series 7, we're going to be going to a bi-weekly schedule. Episodes will air every first and third Wednesday of the month. Because we're about to go into a super busy art schedule tour. We have it's going to be a pretty hectic one in 2024. So to be able to maintain doing the show and the ArtByTai stuff, that's what we've got to do. February 3rd and 4th, we'll be in Mount Dora, Florida. February 10th and 11th, we'll be in St. Petersburg, Florida. And February 17th and 19th, we'll be in Miami for the Coconut Grove Arts Festival. Adrienne, are you looking forward to going to Florida?
My favorite.
Oh, well, I guess I'll save it for when we...
At least, I guess. At least, if I have to, we have to do that whole... If we have to do one of these horrible shows that I absolutely hate doing, and I guess I won't say which one, at least I can look at the manatees.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and looks like we have some good places we'll be staying. So I'm going to have a whole new body of art for those shows, so come and see us.
But there's more than that.
What? Well, there are, but in February, there are some in March, so we'll also be in we'll be in Juno Beach, Florida, March, the second weekend of March. The first weekend of March, we'll be in Tampa for the Gasparilla Arts Festival. Hopefully, we'll be back on air. I don't know when Series 7's going to start back up, but anyway. All right, I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Mopes real quick, and then we'll roll the rewind. But first, I'm going to do a movie share, and the movie share is Natural Born Killers. A lot of people have already seen it. I'm only bringing it up because Mopes, when he was going under the moniker Prolyphic, he had an album called Dangerfield, and Rodney Dangerfield stars in Natural Born Killers. And I just wanted to also mention, you probably didn't know, but Rodney Dangerfield wasn't even given a script for that role in that movie. Do you remember his role in that movie? He was like that dirty old man. And anyway, Oliver Stone just told him, "You're playing a father from hell." And Rodney Dangerfield was creepy as all hell in that movie. So anyway, Dangerfield wrote his own dialogue. It was Tarantino's very first script. Not very first, I think it was his second script that he ever wrote. And it was originally titled Mickey and Mallory, but his script was more about the media than about Mickey and Mallory. He sold it for $10,000. He sold the rights to the script for $10,000. Oliver Stone ended up directing it, and Tarantino this was before Reservoir Dogs, before Pulp Fiction. He's credited as the story. He gets the story credit on that. And there's around the time that movie came out, there was a shit ton of controversy out that writer John Grisham. Do you know John Grisham?
No.
Anyway, he thought that Oliver Stone should be held accountable for some of the actions that the Mickey and Mallory copycats did when that movie came out. There were some copycat killers that followed in the footsteps of Mickey and Mallory. They were two Oklahoma teens who murdered a businessman in Mississippi, then shot and paralyzed a convenience store clerk in Louisiana, and they claimed that their crime spree was inspired by natural born killers. So there was a ton of controversy out based on that. I think the people's family even filed a lawsuit against Oliver Stone and Time Warner. Anyway, the movie's really good. It's probably, it might not even be all that crazy in today's whatever, Anyway, what am I trying to say? In today's society, that might not be all that graphic. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I am going to probably watch it tonight, actually, because I haven't seen it so long. Okay.
Try not to sneeze.
But yeah, I did love that movie, Natural Born Killers, and I believe I was in film school at the time that it came out. I even made a short experimental film based on it in my film class. My song share is a song called Introvert Party.
Better give more than you take, never spend more than you make. Jordan rules at the palace in the paint, making waves through hacks and weight, trying to catch the break, tackle bait, grapple fate, trying to grab this apple from a rattlesnake. It's patty cake, skate like Larry Davis, overheads like Master Ace, blasting bass, masking tape and
And that's from the Unwound album. That's Mopes' album, Unwound. And it features Jesse the Tree and Run of Jivin' Scientists. And everybody's verses on there are really cool. So check that out. I'm going to get rid of the quotes for Adrian's sakes. For Adrian's sake.
But I was thinking about Mopes today. I had to run into the grocery store and grab some toothpaste. And you cut it from the episode, but we were talking, Jesse the Tree and us, we were talking about what kind of toothpaste Mopes used because his teeth were so nice and white. And so I was thinking about him. I was like, I think he said Colgate. But which kind of Colgate? There's like 100. He said plain, but there's not a plain.
Plain Colgate? What did he say? Minty and fresh? Or what?
Maybe that's what I got.
Yeah.
My teeth better sparkle.
like Mopes's?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And you didn't know that the Mopes was going to be the Rewind episode, so.
Nope.
Yeah. Instead of a quote, I'm going to replace it with a joke. Okay? What did the grape say when it got stepped on?
Smash. Juice. Juicy smash.
Nothing. It just let out a little whine.
Oh.
These are quotes are being replaced with dad jokes.
Okay.
All right. Well, our episode is a rewind today with Mopes. The original airing of that episode was from January 23rd, 2022. I think that's like a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years, right? 2 years?
24.
Yeah, a year. So, is that a year? 2 years.
2.
He's put out a whole lot of music since that episode, and I'm just going to mention those real quick before we roll the clip. Put out an album called Choices Chance with Blacklick, the Ham and Eggers album with Trademark, put out a solo EP called Unwound, and another solo album called Milk and Cookies, the tangible versions only. He did that one through Man Bites Dog Records. I also have... DOD45 Show has a Mopes playlist. So we put out playlists of our guests. So you can check out the Spotify playlist. Just search Mopes on DOD45 and it has all the music that he's produced and that's available on Spotify and all the music that he's got verses on and that he's got features on, etc., etc. Okay, any words for everyone, Adrian? There's not going to be an outro to this episode. Just enjoy the rewind. Mopes is a great guest, and I'm really happy that we've formed a friendship with him since the recording of this episode. Okay, let's roll the clip. Peace.
DOD45.
Hey, what's up, podcast world? This is AWOL1, and one of my favorite shows is DOD45 with ArtByTai.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
DOD45.
This is the DOD45 Show, drawing over discussions 45 minutes with a special guest. Welcome. I'm your host and resident artist, Tai of ArtByTai, and with my co-host, Adrienne Taiwali'i, we're having conversations with people who I admire and am inspired by. On this episode, I'll set a 45-minute timer, put my pen to the paper, and we'll learn about our guest through an interview-style discussion. So stay right here with us to experience some laughs and maybe even learn a thing or two.
DOD45.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of DOD45. I'm Tai of ArtByTai, and I'm really happy that you're joining us this evening. This is part 2 of our discussion with Mopes. You will not ever see part 1 because we had a little bit of an incident.
I screwed up.
I wasn't going that route.
Let's be honest. I forgot to record after we did our intro.
That's no biggie. It was actually we'll think of it like a pre-interview. They do those for, Jimmy Fallon and
Still,
Jimmy.
I feel bad. Now I have to take extra hours out of his time.
Yeah.
I feel terrible.
No,
I
I'm
have
sure
felt terrible about it since it happened last week, but I'm grateful he's willing to come on again.
Yeah. It is cool that he's down to come back on because we had some good conversation, but that's okay. It's not like we can't have another conversation. So, I'm going with a whole new route of the conversation. Because I don't want to. I'm not doing any repeat questions of what we did with him last week. But anyway, so yeah, we have Mopes in with us tonight.
Can I get a minute just to rip it? Yes, you can. Fresh out the fire into the deadpan. The look's been deep fried and discussed like a Jets fan. Bunch of nobodies in a yes man. We fucking up the game like the refs can. Red flags when you talk a lot. Warning shots going off like a second hand from the dresser. The P's free, the rap's extra and black leather. Trying to kick the bass and the snares of the crack era. Shit's meta with the art test and the stance. Flying off the handle, get it by the gram. The M.O. bend dope with the pen. Exposed in the robe of trench coat. Get the French toast or the biscuit mix with my kid shit. Pass the baby wipes. Party Mick flies in the house with the cooler seats. Hide the TV guide, silverware, and the jewelry.
Mopes is of the Strange Fame fam. And according to the Wikipedias, he was the second artist to sign with Strange Famous Records. Second to B. Dolan. So there's a bit of trivia information for you. I don't know if it's true or not. He's got verses on Alexander Brown's new album. That's the album I did the album cover for. It's an album called Glow Kid.
Most are mediocre, boast to be the bolder. Toast to each his own, but East Coast be the bolder. Nothing from the start, man, bubble up the pot.
That's a really fantastic album. If you haven't checked that out yet, go and check that out. He recently produced Blacklick's album, who we had on the show just a little bit ago. You hopefully have watched that episode. If not, go watch that after this one. And that album's called Time is the Price.
People tell me all the time I'm so cool, I'm so wise. But when we have a conversation, they can't look in my eyes. Tell me what it is you think, tell me what it is.
He was formerly named Prolyphic. He's now known as Mopes. He was in a group called Stick Figures. I'm going to ask him about this Robust tonight because I was listening to it this morning. And there's a song on there I really love. I don't know much about Robust, but... what else? He's out of Rhode Island, but I believe he lives in Washington, D.C. now.
Shoot, I forgot. I got so busy in the last week. I thought, well, at least I'll have the opportunity to watch. We did talk about that he has a day job as a.
Oh, I wanted to watch that too. Dang it. I'm gonna ask him about that.
As a eyeball.
He's a
for the camera.
He's a DP and a camera operator as well.
DP means
Director of photography.
yes. And I was going to watch. He said the one he recommended was
The Obama one.
Obamas on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that. So we
But
can
dang
give
it,
further
I
detail.
just got to.
How is your back and your shoulders and arms?
Great. I previously mentioned on one of these that I was tearing down the deck. I think I did.
It may have been the one that we recorded that
Shit,
we
who
didn't
knows?
record.
But I got that torn down. I've been doing a whole bunch of landscaping stuff here.
Adrian's been
in
moving
December because it's been so nice
7 yards of 1-inch rock in a wheelbarrow all day today.
all day today. But hey, I'm really close, and I'm really grateful because, as some of you may or may not know, we're in severe drought here in Utah, and throughout the years, Ty and I have been slowly going more and more water-wise with our yard. And so I felt this was a great opportunity to get rid of more.
Yeah,
So
we completely got rid of our front lawn, so we have no front grass in the front yard. And with
it's-
this new project you're doing now, we got you've gotten rid of about 3/4 of our lawn in the backyard.
And then about 15 years ago, we got rid of more than half. So we were down to about, what'd you say, roughly, what's more than a quarter, but less than
it's
half.
a tiny bit of
So
grass.
yeah, getting into that. But I wanted to talk about something else, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Or did you want to talk about something real quick?
Well, what's yours going to be?
Just real quick, just a quick thing.
Yeah.
But, just one thing that kind of has been nudging at my conscience is the fast fashion industry. And I know that you are constantly supporting the artists, buying their merch and their t-shirts and stuff, which I think is admirable, whatever, so that they can get some love. Are you with me?
Yeah, because I have a feeling I have a feeling of where you're going.
So, but anyway, I know that we're just like major polluters of these clothes, that we're just going through this fast fashion, and these people who are creating these clothes are getting paid about the same rate as the artists are getting paid on Spotify. So just as a suggestion, since Spotify recently came out with the Wrapped 2021 and all your artists, I thought maybe instead of, or
In addition to?
you may decide to go through and donate what you would have paid for their record or their album.
Nice suggestion.
For your top, your top 5-10 artists that they give you, because those are the ones you're streaming constantly, So I just think that might be good. And then I think all that money goes straight to their pocket, and you're paying for their music. So just a suggestion for people who, I don't know.
Don't want to go the route of having clothes?
Right, because I don't buy, me, I don't really,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't
someone like
support
you would
people.
definitely
I
work
don't
for it.
like stuff on my clothes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, a lot of people don't. So, yeah, it's a great suggestion to go and donate to the artists.
and I know that you can on Spotify now, so I was just thinking.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I know you're probably trying to get me to stop buying, but
I just think it would be better because of fast fashion. The
yeah,
landfills are getting
the good
full.
news. Well, my clothes go down to the kids. My daughter now wears my clothes, and then we pass it on down to whatchamacallit, for people who can't afford clothes.
Goodwill.
Goodwill.
But a lot of that gets.
Well, if that's the case, I will find a better place to
Well, what
pass them
happens?
down.
And,
Maybe we can.
and there's a lot of things that they send them to, like Africa, but then African countries aren't making money off of their fashion industry because they're getting so many donations, and then they're ending
Sounds
up
like we
with
got
stuff
a
with the
philanthropist on our hands here.
So I'm just
So she's
saying,
gonna change, fixing the world one step at a time.
if you love an artist, buy their merch.
Well, I wish you wouldn't say that, because there's a bunch of the artists that we have talked to. They may be like, "Yeah, she's right. No, I'm not going to make any merch available
No, they
anymore."
will, because they still have to make money, and they know that people want stuff. But so if you love an artist, buy their merch. if you're streaming an artist constantly, buy their
Send them
album.
some money.
Yeah. Basically, you're buying their album.
Yeah.
Anyway, had to
Well,
get that off my shoulders.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you did that. Hopefully, you moved the needle for some people.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Sometimes sometimes I'm definitely like 100% gung ho, like yes, and then other times I'm like, well, fucking, this world's gonna blow up in 5 years anyway. So shit, That's a bad
That is because
attitude to
we're
have,
leaving
but-
this garbage for our kids.
Right,
And
I know.
If
I know,
we are lucky
yeah.
enough to ever have grandkids, which we probably won't be, but
I leave my daughter's wearing my old garbage, which is cool. I get what you're
Okay,
saying. I
sorry.
think it's a great message.
what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say that I got a message from the one and only, and I never say because if it doesn't happen, then it didn't happen. But Cool Keith. So I'm hoping about being on an episode for a show. So I'm hoping that works out. But you know, it could fall through. So don't take it as a guarantee or anything.
I won't lose sleep over it.
Yeah, probably no one else will. I lost a little
it'd be
sleep.
cool.
Like Brother Ali was going to be on, but then he ended up moving to Turkey, and he said maybe after he gets to Turkey, but I don't know if that's going to happen now.
Didn't we meet Cool Keith once?
No.
Did we go to one of his shows like a million years ago?
No.
With that AC Alone? Was he not there?
No, that was the De La Soul show and AC Alone. No, that would have been great. I would have loved that.
swear
we met. You know who you're thinking? We met Dell. He was on. Dell was on an episode of a TV show that I used to produce. Yeah, and we went on his tour bus. That was. That was fun.
It was smoky in there.
It was very smoky in there. I also wanted to mention. So this episode we're recording. So on Sunday was the premiere of the DJ Qbert episode, and during the premiere, Cast One had reached out to me and said, "This is cool." And then he said he left me a comment. It was cool. He texted me a message and made me feel good about myself, which I appreciated. That was cool.
My phone is filming this.
I was saying that because I'm wearing a Cast
Yeah,
One
our
shirt.
girlfriend who knew him growing up.
Oh, that's right.
She sent me something months ago.
Did she date his brother or his friend or?
I think her sister. I don't know, but she sent me something. She was going through some of her old stuff and sent me a photo. Of something to share to him.
Oh,
maybe it was an old flyer or something. I'll have to go through the messages.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. You can put
That's
it on
right.
here.
We
And
discovered that later.
Maybe he'll see it on here.
We were talking with our friend. She was
can't
like,
remember
"I'm
what it
friends.
was.
Oh, we used to be close with Cass One, Jacob." Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So we kind of rambled on there, but I guess not bad. Oh, so Mopes just dropped an Christmas instrumental album. It doesn't sound Christmassy. I mean, I guess all of the music that he used were samples of anything like Christmas music and stuff. So it has a Christmas vibe to it, but it's not like a Christmas album.
Well, that's perfect for when
Post-Christmas.
this airs.
Yeah, because this is going to be post-Christmas.
All those people who can't stop listening to Christmas music, even in January.
Yeah,
They
our
have
kids
something new to listen
our kids are in the house right now boxing up all of the books, the orders of books that people ordered.
and hopefully have already received.
Yep.
time
And hopefully they've been received, but our kids are in there doing that, and they're like thumping Christmas music in there. I'm not ready for that. But Christmas is over now. If this episode's the air date of this episode, it's over. So let's not
droning on about it.
So Milk and Cookies is the name of that album, and you probably, if you didn't, it's probably not available now, but because they did a limited, they're not doing any
they may
streams
be
of it,
sold
just
out.
a limited. Yeah, so it's probably out.
Um,
He did that with Man Bites Dog.
I had another bout of insomnia in the middle of the night last night. I think I saw his post for that when I was scrolling on Twitter for the Milk and Cookies.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
was
The
laying in
beats are
bed.
cool.
'Cause I didn't listen to it because you were sleeping.
I was asleep in bed by then.
Yeah, it happened from like 1:45 until about 3:45.
I must have wandered into bed a little earlier than usual. Well, all right, you guys, let's take a quick little break and hear about ArtByTai.com.
And I'm not going to push pause. Oh, yeah. Our sponsor, you mean?
Yeah, let's hear from our sponsor. And hey, who knows? Maybe by now there's even more sponsors. Again, I do want to state, this show, I never made this show for sponsors or to make money off of. This is just this is to promote the guests that we have on the show because their music has inspired my artwork for many years. That being said, it does cost money to do the shows. That's fine.
I'm taking time out of my day. Okay, here's a word from our sponsor.
Are your walls blank and begging to be decorated? Are you tired of having bland art that doesn't reflect how edgy you really are? Well, in this day and age, there's no reason for you to not own artwork that is just as unique as you. At ArtByTai.com, you can find loads of fine art prints and original pieces of artwork done by myself, which the script for this ad describes as a master pen artist. But that's not all. You can also purchase ready-to-hang, limited edition artwork, and while supplies last, you can get our new children's book called Beyond the Sea and my new coffee table book, Book of Arms, 178 pages of tentacle-themed creations. Don't spend another moment looking at boring walls that don't reflect who you are. Go to ArtByTai.com today.
Come on. Give it up.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back again to our man Mopes for round 2.
Let's do it.
Sorry.
No, we're good.
I'm blushing. I am so sorry. But it's great to see you again.
I take it that you guys are just so enthralled that you're like, I gotta bring them back.
Oh, you know
so
what?
much more to talk about, and I get to redo my trivia, so we're good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, let's just start with some trivia.
I forgot to mention to Adrienne because right after we got done recording with you, she went to go push the button that would be normally pause, but when she pushed it, it said record, and she realized immediately, fuck, I didn't. But I forgot to tell her that you, when we reached out and apologized to you, you made a comment. It was a good comment. You said, "I'm just happy that you're wanting to have me back," instead of it being like, "Well, fuck, we lost it. Yeah. Sorry."
Hey, just so you know, we didn't record. Yeah, don't call us back now. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I felt terrible. Certainly that night, the next day, all week, it's slowly been fading as I got busier, and we were looking forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that because right after it happened, I was like, maybe we should just call him back and see if we can just do it again. But I'm glad that we pushed it again. So that it gave me time, because I don't want to rehash out everything that we talked about. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I got a new shirt on. Like, let's go. You know what I mean?
I'm wearing the shirt that I wore because no one got to see it.
Oh, that's funny because I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen that shirt.
Well, I wore it the first time we interviewed him, but I wanted to wear it again because
respect. I know. Yeah, I feel that.
What shirt do you have on?
A Toro Gotti. He's a
fighter.
Yeah, he's a boxer. He passed away, but he's a boxer from like the 90s. Yeah.
Well, so thanks for joining us again, and we'll drop that. We'll get over that now. But appreciate you being here with us. So how have you been since we last talked? It's been about a week.
Good, man. So yeah, I had an instrumental beat tape drop last week with another label, Man Bites Dog. It's a beat tape that's only sampling Christmas songs, basically. So that came out. It's called Milk and Cookies. Yeah.
You posted a couple of tracks in it, and they're awesome. I wasn't going to say it. I was going to wait till you came on, because during the intro, Adrienne was just mentioning about merchandise and stuff, and pushing for me not to get any more clothes, but I ordered a milk and cookie shirt and the tape. So
I appreciate that.
All I'm saying is people should consider spending the donation money to the artist for listening to the music instead of just.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great debate. I don't know
Yeah,
what seems to be the best transactions now between the artists and the fans.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's because you could just keep giving them merch, does that make it less special? Does it make it more special? I don't know.
And it's even overhead. And then my wife wants to fix the world, so her thing is about leftover shirts on the landfill, you know, clothes in the landfills and stuff. So that was, but it's no. I just wanted to mention.
But also, that's overhead for you. Like,
yeah,
it probably costs more or less for you to get a $20 kick donation.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what
listening to
people
your
buy
album.
though. It's like they don't really buy music; they buy the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Her
know?
argument, I think her what she was pushing is if you're streaming people's music, go and donate. If you're streaming it, just think of that, maybe that you've bought the album and just donate that money so that
Keep the waist low and donate the money. Yeah, I respect
donate
that.
like you buy, like, so, you know, I guess that if I bought one of your albums for $15 back in the day, you know, a CD for $15.99, I could listen to that album nonstop, and you don't get any other money from that $15.99 that I bought that album for.
Yeah, I
can just listen to it. Spotify, I guess you get a penny every 4 million listens.
Yeah.
But so people should, I guess we wanted to get people into the habit of just donating money to the artist.
Yeah.
I think that's a good, that'd be a cool one. So, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Send your donations.
Yeah. Go ahead and send your
and
donations.
Spotify has that donation button now. I think every
They
artist.
Is it 100% of it, though?
I think so.
Oh, that's good. No cut.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Okay. So, let's see. I wrote down something I was going to say. Oh, well.
I mean, I got groceries.
Do you want to do some trivia? You like trivia?
I can hear them. Let's do this since some people aren't going to hear what we talked out before.
Okay.
So you've recently had your EP come out. We just discussed also prior to the instrumentals that you did. You had your EP come out as Mopes. You also your album with
Black Lick. Yep. Yeah. So we had a big strategic move to change my name and then hold back my solo album, which is done, to put out an EP which was going to feature my name change, but also 2 artists that we signed to Strange Famous, which were Black Lick and Jesse the Tree. So that's kind of how that formed, and it came together in like a month, and then put it out in September. And then we followed it up with the album I produced with Black Lick. So yeah.
When is your, because you're doing a full length album on Strange Famous, right? What do you know the release date of that one now?
Yeah, so it's gonna be 2nd or 3rd week of February.
That's perfect, because I think this episode's gonna air just like a week or 2 before.
I love that.
Yeah,
when it all comes together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called Unwound. It's funny, when I was making it, I thought it was I felt like a positive album. Like it felt like, I don't know, it felt like I don't say uplifting, but it had that kind of vibe to it. But it's like a dark therapy album, but it feels positive. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of heavy, it's emotional, but it's not like woe is me kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's really, you know, it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing.
Yeah, windshield therapy. It's like listening to a Pink Floyd album. It's not always like dark, but it's moody. Oh, it's moody.
Yeah, moody. Yeah, moody's the word. It's very moody.
Yeah.
But it has like its peaks and valleys to it, where like it's not all like, you know, downers. There's uppers in there too. So yeah.
My life sucks. There's a pandemic.
Yeah. And I don't like making it. I like making like hard, aggressive stuff, but I don't like doing you know, it's just me complaining all the time. So it came together. Really fast. I produced all the beats on it. So yeah.
You rap on it?
And I'm rapping. Yeah, I'm rapping on every song on it. Yeah.
Do you do little things if you feel like it's too dark. So in my drawings get real dark, and I'm happy. I'm optimistic. Things are good. But my drawings tend to be really dark, and if I feel like it gets even too dark, I'll put a smiley face in there. So everyone always asks, like, why the smiley face? Well, I'll put the smiley face to try to balance it out. If you're making an album or making a song and you feel it's maybe getting darker than what you normally would want, are there any cues or anything that you will put in there to lighten it?
For a song, no. For an album, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I kind of let the song take me where it goes, and then I'm like, if it's one verse, if it's two verses, if it's three verses, like, that's kind of like whatever spills out of me, that's kind of what spills out, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't try to soften it or make it more sad than it needs to be, like or over dramatic.
Yeah.
But I do think of it. I like to think about albums still as like a whole. So like as a listening experience. So when you're going through it, again, I don't want it to be this downward trajectory of just all sad songs. I like to have more of a dynamic sound to it, you know? Yeah.
So your smiley face, it would be the structure of the album.
Yeah.
Like, if there's like 3 tracks in a row that are like going dark, you can
kind of, yeah. It's because again, that's just how I like to listen to stuff, and I think what it does is it's the negative and positive space, right?
Yeah.
So that stuff plays off of each other. So if you just have like 6 consecutive dark songs, it kind of loses its oomph.
Yeah.
But if you can balance it, you know what I mean? It makes those darker songs a little bit, not that it makes them darker, but just makes them stand out more, you know? And even when as a producer, I try to do the same thing where it's like, I'm looking at the artist as a whole, and I'm trying to give them a landscape where it's enough for them to feel like they can express themselves broadly. And it's not just like this narrow vision, right? So it gives them enough of a field to work with, you know?
Yeah, I hope that this newer generation that comes from streaming music, I hope that they are able to experience albums like that, because everyone that's still making music, I feel, still wants to make a whole album. They want you to experience, because you know there's so many singles out now. That's like the common thing to do.
But also, Adele just had a thing with Spotify where she made it where you can't shuffle the album.
I like that idea.
So that you have to listen to it in the order.
It's just one long track kind of thing?
Well, no, you have to listen to it in the order. If you go to the album, you have to listen to it in the order that the artist
Interesting.
put it in.
She also has Adele power, too. She was probably able to be
true.
like...
Yeah, she's incredibly talented. I mean, I'm with that. I still like to listen to albums from front to back. To, you know, if it's an artist who... is putting that kind of craft to it. You know, there's some people just like, it's just all singles, or, you know, it's a bunch of filler with a couple of singles, and that's cool too. But I like to listen to things start to finish. Yeah.
Like watching a movie. I'm very much into that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to finish up this drawing that I started for you.
Let's do it.
So people are going to miss out on the actual structuring of it.
But they do never get to see the finishing, so.
Well, I don't even know if I'll be able to finish, because I've noticed recently I'm enjoying having a conversation more than my drawing. I've been finishing everybody's drawing way later, but oh well. All right, well,
it takes us, you know.
Yeah. Well, so I'm drawing you a stag and the owls.
Yep.
Why a stag and why owls? What's your connection to both?
So I do have this cool owl tattoo on my arm. But as a kid, my friends would fuck with me when I would be at parties and stuff, and they'd kind of call me an owl because I would just like I was like perched in the corner, just kind of analyze it like real quiet. So they kind of fucking with that. So that's where the owl comes from. And then the stag, I just recently found out that the stag is my spirit animal in Native American culture.
Oh, cool.
So I had a couple interesting experiences with deer and male deer, like on bike rides and hikes and stuff. So yeah, they're kind of a fascinating animal, and stags especially because they're an animal for prey, but they got this fucking antler set that is just bad as shit. And and they can be aggressive too, right? So yeah, it's like an interesting, it's an interesting dichotomy of being a prey animal, but still being able to fuck something up.
Yeah.
You know, and same thing with an owl. I feel like owls too, people don't realize that they're predators, you know? I feel like I may have a little bit of that in me where I'm a little bit underestimated, and then all of a sudden the antlers come out and you get fucked up.
That's right.
That's what happened.
Oh, I'm glad. That one I'm gonna take cue of that, because I like to send out just a little package to everybody. But I have this drawing that I did of an owl and his owl soldier, and there's these 3 different kind of mice, not mice, but one's a
like
mouse.
a rabbit.
Yeah, a rabbit.
Right, different.
And then a bird flying in, but on their heads, it spells out prey, P-R-E-W-E-Y, and these are all prey of the owl.
Yeah,
I think you'll dig that drawing. What?
But real quick, I think it's safer to say that you are not a predator.
Oh God, no, Jesus,
but you're not prey.
No. It's I think it's that
you're not prey, but you're certainly not a predator.
It's the ability to be. You don't have to be this aggressive asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking as a man. I mean, obviously, an animal is a predator. They're just doing what they've been biologically conditioned to do, right? But as a man, it's like I can still be soft and I can be gentle with my kids, but then there's also this part of me that's like, yeah, I'm a protector.
Oh,
and, you know what I mean? So.
I forgot. I didn't ask you on this last one. You were like part, or you were like, I don't know if a spokesperson, but you were like you became part of something that was like was that? Yeah, I swear it was you, like a female.
Oh group. Violence against women.
Or they asked you to do something for this. It was like a violence against women kind of.
Yeah. So a fan of our label was from the DC area, and he had come to a show and we had interacted, and I think he reached out to Sage and Dolan as well, and he was doing a campaign of showing I don't know if it was musicians or rappers specifically taking a stand against violence against women. You know?
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry, I was just gonna say, is it OVW?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's okay. I'll just put
been
up.
so long.
I'll be able to find it when I'm editing it together. Okay. Yeah, that's cool, because when we had our discussion with B. Dolan, he was very much speaking out about
a safe place
for people when at a hip hop show.
Yeah, I mean I think it's changed. And I think how it's changed is that it really depends on the type of people the artist attracts.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, but that's kind of what it is, if you're projecting out negative shit, you're going to attract negative shit, So and I'm not with that, So
well,
and I got kids too, I don't I want
After we had talked to Dolan, I think this is when I remembered, when I used to go to a concert or a rave, and if I wanted to be up at the front or the front row,
go ahead.
And if any of my family is listening, plug your ears. But I constantly had to deal with some guy and his boner, thrusting his boner up against my ass. That's something. I know that was just totally normal. It was just one of those things.
Normal, but not okay.
Right. Yeah. I didn't even think about it until I think when B. Dolan maybe brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every female that has been close to me in some way in my life has had some kind of horrible sexual assault or sexual violent thing happen.
And that was just like an annoyance. I didn't even.
Yeah, I know. And that's on that's on like I know. Yeah. And we just got to do better.
That was my daughter, man.
I know. Yeah, it's something that we just have to do better as men. You know what I mean?
But speaking, I like that. Like when people start speaking out about it. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think some people just go I think even young. I'm not excusing it for anyone, but I think sometimes young men are kind of dumb. The culture was never that's not okay. I feel like I'm hoping that the more people talk about it and the more it's out there, I hope that the younger men these days are making sense of that. Like, oh, that is fucking not okay. That's not
I mean,
right.
it's the same thing with racism too, right? And homophobia and all that stuff. Like, it feels like it's moving in a certain positive direction. But I'm assuming there's still pockets of
for sure,
right, of people not.
How
and
old
I'm
are
not
you?
an Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was say I'm not an activist in any way. I try to do right. Try to teach my kids to do right, and try to put out good energy. So
yeah, I'm not an activist either. Everyone heard that discussion I had with our episode with Soul, because I was very nervous before I was going to talk to him, because I'm not an activist. I want people to be good to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just treat people with respect. Even if that's the thing, is like, even if you don't get along with people, or you have different beliefs or what, it's like, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like, you do your thing. Like, you can respect you, respect me. Yeah, go do your thing.
Yeah, mind yourself and mind your family.
At the end of the day, everybody wants the exact same thing. They want a healthy family with food on the table, roof over your head. Like, people don't really want a lot more than that.
I think what we find from that, though, Adrienne, when you say that, people who don't have those things tend to, when you're younger, that's where you tend to maybe lash out. I mean, what do I know? I'm no psychologist.
If they don't have food
if you don't have food on your table, you're growing up in an environment where
you should be upset about that in this environment.
And some people let their ego get in the way, like they I mean,
how old are your kids?
My son's 7 and my daughter's 4.
Yeah, cool. I think you'll discover how much they are aware of things like racism.
I mean, I had a conversation with my son in, what was it, 2019? 2020, George Floyd. He was asking me about, police bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's
but we had a conversation about it. You know what I mean? I try to do it in a way that's not going to make them feel safe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, not everyone is good. Unfortunately, not everybody has your best intentions, and that can be a police officer, it could be a teacher, it could be your neighbor. And I was like, I'm not trying to freak you out, but that's just the reality of the situation. Does that mean that everybody's bad? No. So you just got to use your judgment. And it was a hard conversation. But I think they're very well aware.
Your judgment's got to be based per individual and per action.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a hard conversation. We have one of our best friends is a police officer. My little brother is a police officer. And I struggle with this day in and day out, because I'm just like, what is going on? The blindfold
it's just not
lifted.
black and white. Yeah, it's not black and white. I think there's so much gray area in our culture, that to just be like, all these folks are bad, all these folks are good. It's just, you can't do it. It's just, there's so much nuance to it,
I have been billy clubbed and totally inappropriately handled by a police officer when I was a teenager. But like she said, 3 of my closest friends are police, not my closest, but one of my best friends is a police officer. 2 of my other ones are good friends I grew up with. They're also police officers. But I'm in between that. When I understand when people are angry and it's like, fuck the police. I'm on that side. I can have conversations with my best friend who, he's not that kind of police officer, he's not that kind of person. He gets his gig. He gets that. He understands that. But I'm like, I don't go hardline anywhere. I'm like we were just saying, it's per individual, per fucking per action.
Listen, I'm a straight white male, and there's plenty of shitty straight white males out there. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are cops, So I was like, I get it, but doesn't mean that that I have to. It's like, you have to empathy, man. You got to hear where people are coming from. It doesn't. Don't take that shit personally. You have to just understand where the experiences and perspectives of other people. I think that's the thing that's missing in our culture, meaning like United States culture, is this lack of willingness to see where the other person is coming from on both sides, on both sides of arguments. So hope we get
we
that.
tend to do that. It's more, I guess, exciting, for us to
Yeah, we
make
like drama.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let me hit you with some Sophie's Choice questions.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Alfred E. Newman or Paul Newman?
Man, fuck these questions, bro.
Okay, Alfred E. Newman's the guy from Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Mad Magazine.
What
yeah.
me
Paul,
worry.
Paul Newman's an old
Paul Newman's
actor.
the actor.
Yeah, he was a really beautiful man.
Yeah.
He was a race car driver. Like, he's a pretty awesome dude. And he makes doesn't he make
Newman's food products.
Oh, yeah. the
dressing. Yeah.
Yeah, the dressing, yeah.
Oh, he died.
He did just recently.
He did die. I'm gonna go. I mean, I was a fan of Mad Magazine growing up, but I can't knock Paul Newman to Alfred E. Newman, you know?
Okay.
I can't do him like that.
I'll let you take that. I would have went Alfred E. Newman. But I mean, Mad Magazine changed my life. Like that made me realize that,
yeah.
You can draw shit like that? Fuck yeah, I'm in. Yeah,
I mean, if you asked the 13-year-old me, I would have said Alfred E. Newman, right? But I just, it's been so long since
what about the alien Alf or Little Rascal Alfalfa?
Oh, fuck. So, I feel like I got more of a connection to Alf, the show.
Yeah. Did you watch the show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, it was
do
like
you
ate
hate
cats and shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you hate cats?
I don't hate cats.
Oh.
I don't hate cats, but I remember watching that show and I don't know. I don't even fucking remember if I liked it, but I just remember you used to like watch
It was
things
just
and
on.
Yeah.
it was just
It was
on.
just
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So I was like, oh, this weird puppet that eats cats. So that's cool. And like lives with the family.
I loved the show. I think I have the same experience as you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I actually loved it or if it was just what was on. And I'm like, but it was fun. It was funny. Like he was always trying to eat the house cat.
Was he always behind the couch?
Well, someone had to operate it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he lived behind the couch basically. And then you would move through the room. So I'm going Alf. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Alf. I mean, the Little Rascals. I mean, I don't. I know of it.
Did you not watch that show? The black and white one.
I remember like watching Three Stooges and like Little Rascals like randomly on some channel, and I remember liking Three Stooges and Little Rascals was okay.
Yeah,
you know. I feel like I have
similar.
a more vivid memory of Alf than Alf.
Yeah, I think this guy used to call me Spot, and that was the dog in the Little Rascals. I think was it, and I remember when I was younger, he was like the babysitter of like a good friend of mine or something. Okay. He was the house nanny, but they like would call me Spot, and he would like paint the fucking circle around my eye. Yeah, it was just like weird memory. Weird. I know.
Fuck that guy. Jesus.
I know, it was so weird.
You're lucky you didn't end up in a freezer.
I know. I might. Yeah, that's right. What about Gaga or Madonna?
Oh boy.
Oh man. Did you hear that line that I said?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta go.
I didn't hear it. Let me hear it. What's your line?
So basically, it was like, Lady Gaga's just like a carbon copy of Madonna. I don't even remember the line right now because my head's all over the place. But yeah, basically, it was just like, like the race, like she basically followed that racy prototype that Madonna laid out, And not to say that Lady Gaga's not talented, because she's a talented act. I think she's more of a talented actress than she is with her songs, even though she has an incredible voice as a singer. Like she actually can sing. But I gotta go Madonna. I mean, she was she was pretty groundbreaking when she came out.
I don't think there's a mold before her.
Yeah, I guess you could say like maybe Bowie or
yeah, but that doesn't work because Bowie's
but
Bowie's
she was
a man.
her being her being a female, like she was pretty groundbreaking. So I gotta go Madonna.
And then she was with not Banksy.
Oh,
the other guy. What's his name? Sorry.
I mean, she was with a bunch.
I'll give you, she was with a bunch. Because I'll give you one that people didn't know. She was with Tupac. Like,
Basquiat.
Oh yeah,
Basquiat. Yeah,
Basquiat. Sorry, yeah.
No,
because we're probably saying it wrong.
No, because I do this all the time. I go, is it Jean-Michel Basquiat or is it Jean-Michael Basquiat?
No.
I would go French. Yeah,
I do too. Jean-Michel.
His parents were from.
That's right. I forgot about the Basquiat thing.
One of the French islands down in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it is Jean-Michel. But yeah, she I was just listening to who the fuck was it? Snoop Dogg on Howard Stern.
I love that.
And he said that he told the story about how it was Snoop Dogg's first time on Saturday Night Live, and he was like, "Hey, I'm in New York." He called up Tupac. He's like, "Hey, I'm in New York. Like, I need some weed," because it was hard to get weed back then. Yeah. And Tupac showed up to Saturday Night Live with Madonna in the car, acting like it was no fucking big deal, just to bring some weed to Snoop. It was a great story.
Yeah, I didn't know they were together.
Yeah.
And Big Daddy Kane too. Big Daddy Kane was Madonna. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Madonna was working it.
She was with one of the Beastie Boys too, right? Was it,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
Yeah. Her book is on my list. That book that she came out with.
Oh yeah.
That's on my list.
If I could read books, I would read that one. That would be interesting.
I didn't know she came out with one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, this came out in like the late 90s, I think. Early 2000s. She might have come out with another book. She's probably written a bunch of books.
Well, I was thinking maybe she probably told all of the stories that were worth telling.
Yeah, exactly. Book. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like a love partner memoir kind of thing.
She was giving it up. She was giving the goods.
Yeah.
What about
It's called Sex.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
the whole book is about people she was banging. That's fun.
But, I figure it's a little more poetic than that, but we'll see. We'll find out.
The fun part about it is like she's like basically with historical people. Like
I mean,
she's historical herself.
She's kind of like like Monroe, right? Marilyn Monroe's got that kind of
Yeah.
But I mean, big up to her. That's that thing. The thing I respect about Madonna is that she's like, "Fuck you." So what? Men can do it. Why can't I do it? You know. So she got my respect.
Yeah, she was groundbreaking.
I always liked her. I was always. I don't know if I liked her music so much, but and not just like I thought she was hot. I always thought she was like. I don't know. It seemed like was embarrassing. I'm over that. But when I was a kid, it was like it would be embarrassing for me to like Madonna. But like inside, I was like, "Fucking, she's like." Doing shit that on TV and with music that I would only dream of. Like, why wouldn't I want to be part of something like that?
She's a badass, man.
I loved her.
Yeah. What about Bon Jovi or John Bovey? Which one sounds better?
Which one sounds better? Who's John Bovey?
Nobody, but I'm saying.
Okay. I was like,
I mean, I guarantee there's some sort of punk band or some band that's called John Bovey.
Man,
but
I mean, as much as I like, I'm not. My sister was a huge Bon Jovi fan. I mean, when like Living on a Prayer comes on, like I'll leave that shit on. I know all the words to it. You know what I mean? I can't. Yeah, that's it.
I'm not a huge John or Bon Jovi fan, but
yeah,
I don't know. I get it now.
Bon Jovi sounds more,
Yeah.
And it's probably because of the culture that's
John, what did you call it? John Bovey.
John Bovey. That's
John Bovey.
The cover band.
John Bovey. That's what I'm saying. I guarantee
exactly,
there's some sort of punk band that does like a metal version of all Bon Jovi songs. It's called John Bovey. But hey, is your beat making process different than your lyric writing process?
That's interesting. I never really thought about the process. Because they're kind of, I feel like they're kind of different. I can make a beat in like 30 minutes. I mean, actually, that's wrong. I can write a song in 30 minutes too. I don't know. Let me think about that. What is that? What happens? Okay. So when I make a beat, I use records. I sample. So there's kind of a journey that happens where it's like, I find the record, I bring it back, I sample it, I'm chopping it up, and like I'm, making this remix of what the song is. And I guess it's similar to writing too, because like when I'm writing, it's like I'm just taking all these lines and experiences that I'm having, and I'm kind of making this remix of what happened in my life.
Right.
So they're very similar as far as like where it comes from. But I feel like I'm faster and I'm more abundant with production than I am with my writing. I feel like I take more. Like it takes more time for me to kind of like if I'm writing like personal stuff. If someone's just hitting me up for like a 16 or whatever, I'm just writing to the beat and whatever kind of comes. But if I'm doing like my own personal songs, I'm kind of letting it come to me, and then once I sit down and actually write it, it kind of flows out. And I do it one sitting usually.
I can because I don't.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of does, because I'm wondering when you're writing the lyrics, is that not to say that beat making is not personal, but when you're writing lyrics, is it more personal or you're
Oh God, yeah.
you're
For me, it is. For
Yeah.
me, writing is because I've been writing since writing raps since I was like 14, 15, and it was like this very personal thing that I did in my room as a way to cope with what was going on. You know what I mean? I mean, and I was never really interested in putting it out. I was really just interested in the art form of it, of like, just writing words and making them rhyme and trying to come up with this story. And then I started making beats because I was too cheap to go buy them.
Right.
It's not my personal voice. Like, you're not hearing my personal voice in the beat. Like, you're hearing my style and who I am in the beat, but it's a little bit more of a separation where when you literally hear my voice, that's me. That's the only voice I got. That's who I am. It's a little bit more vulnerability out there.
Plus, it takes time to process your emotions to write it down correctly.
True. Very true.
Was it always in the style of raps, or did you start off kind of like writing poetry?
I wasn't. I was writing like Weird Al Yankovic stuff.
Yeah.
I would like take a song, like I'd listen to it. I remember like Dre's The Chronic and some of Rakim stuff, where I would take their song and kind of write like a parody of it.
Oh, cool.
Not to make fun of it, but just
yeah.
trying to put like a own spin. And that's kind of how I started writing.
Oh,
Do you
cool.
remember any of those?
Oh man,
Did you
I
record?
did, I'm not even going to admit to know.
There ain't no way. Did you record any of those?
I don't think I did.
Oh,
I don't think I did. Yeah.
I'd love to hear them.
Oh God.
Do you have anything that you recorded back then?
Of course I do. Yeah, I get that.
Would you
it's
ever
buried.
you would never be comfortable with anyone hearing that, like the public?
I mean, the demo that I put out, which is called "What's Wrong with This Picture," it's like 2 hours of just like me like recording by myself, just doing skits and all kinds of crazy shit. It's
fun.
out there somewhere.
That's fun.
I was like 17, 18 when I recorded that stuff. So that's out there, but the stuff before that, no, I can't. Like it's too much. Like just that demo being out there is cringeworthy enough.
Yeah,
I can't. It's way too personal.
Yeah, I get.
Maybe when I'm older, if people gave a shit, but no one's ever asked me for
when
it.
you're older and you're kind of like sitting back, and you're like, it's okay. Now you guys can read my journal.
Yeah, exactly.
I asked that the other question about like the producing writing, because in our discussion with Blockhead, it was the first time I ever I often will ask the question, are you more do you enjoy the process or the end result, which is more your speed? And Blockhead was the first person that said the end result, but he was thinking on a technical of like, I'm not personally, I'm just putting together all of these samples. So that part is not the part that I'm feeling, I guess. And then when you hear it all together, the result was. So that was the first time I ever heard someone bring that up, and I thought I found it actually kind of interesting that was his kind of feeling towards it. Yeah. I never heard anyone come up with that, because mine's about the journey. I've always been like
I've always been a journey guy too, and I mean I get it though. I mean I certainly it's a just a different perspective of what you're getting out of it. But I've from like just getting records, that whole thing to me is like I'm in love with that stuff.
You're a crate. Are you a crate digger?
Oh my God, yeah. I've been since I was 17, 18.
Yeah, because I think that's maybe the difference. Because Blockhead said he's not a crate digger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't ask him that question because I saw in a bunch of interviews he had been asked that question, and he said, "No, I'm not anymore." Yeah. He said anymore, so maybe he used to be, but he's. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about him. But I just thought that was interesting. That.
Well, it's just. I mean, it's like any other kind of art form, right? Art medium, where like people have their own palette of how they make sounds or how they put together songs, beats, whatever. So I'm always fascinated by how other people do things.
I'm 100% fascinated by it. That's why we do this show.
Yeah, right. Yes. I mean, I love reading artist biographies. I like watching documentaries by other artists just to see like, I wonder how they do things. So how can I learn from that? Or just as like pure enjoyment of like, wow, that's really interesting,
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jets or Giants?
Jets, fuck.
What the hell? Why?
Yeah.
Is it hard being a Jets fan?
Yeah.
I'm just
Honestly,
kidding.
it's fun. It is. And it's funny. It's like a real thing. I stopped watching the games. I only look at the highlights now, like meaning like I'll like at halftime, I'll like, oh, okay, they're losing. Okay, great. And then I move on with my day.
You feel
basically.
good. You feel good about.
I
you
feel
didn't watch
fucking
it? Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I spent so many years.
What's
with my
keeping
dad.
you with them?
It's I've spent so much time invested with them that it's just there. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like a part of like who I am as a person. And of course my dad will text me like, hey, you like, are you watching, like, you know,
Right.
like the Jets? And I'm just like, yeah, what's going on? Okay. They're losing. Great.
Will they get a championship in your lifetime?
Am I betting money on it? Or are you just asking me personally?
Let's do your betting money on it.
No, they will not ever, never,
Wait.
ever.
Did you grow up you and your dad would hang out and watch baseball games?
So my dad is old school. He listens to baseball on the radio still.
Wow.
When I was growing up and now, he is a Yankees and a Jets fan, which completely baffles New Yorkers because New Yorkers, the pairs is Jets, Mets, and Giants, Yankees. But I'm not from New York. I'm from Rhode Island. So I don't know where the lines got crossed in that situation. I think it was my dad's first generation. So I think when my grandfather came over, he's like, oh, I like this team and I like that team, you know? And passed it down to my dad.
Did your Jets fanship start from your dad or?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I was like 2-3 in Jets gear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So,
hard to let go then.
I didn't know any better. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, I have let go as far as like, I'm not hanging I'm not hanging inside the house on Sunday just to watch the Jets play.
The part that sucks though, because you don't do that and it's now on tape, when they do win the championship, you'll be one of those people that
I don't give a shit. Listen, hey, you know what? If they win,
I've been a Utah Jazz fan my whole life, so I fucking
oh man,
I don't
you
even
came
have
close.
a championship.
You guys came close a bunch of
that's
times.
That's why I get what you're talking about. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll fucking get close. That's not.
Yeah.
I would actually rather, like you said, if you don't watch the game and they lost, like it feels great because I get so angry if I'm so busy, but I can't miss a game. I haven't missed a game in 27 years, or almost 30 years.
Respect that.
I'll watch the game, and if they lose, I'll be pissed because I'm like, I fucking had so much other shit I needed to do.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, is that the Jets just have a great way of like lighting the flame a little bit.
Make
Of like,
you think
there's a little bit of hope. And then it's just like,
this is the time.
And the other thing that sucks too is that I'm from New England.
Yeah.
And New England's probably, one of the,
you would have been better off being a New England fan because you'd have six rings on your finger.
They had probably the best quarterback to ever play football, and now with Mac Jones, it's just like So
yeah, that's funny.
I was just gonna say that you have my brain's stopping, but right since you grew up listening to it on the radio, that's it would be easier to just throw in your headphones and go be productive, listen to the game, and clean your garage, and you're not wasting your day.
Listen, it's funny that you mentioned that because I tried that. I tried that when I don't know, 8 years ago, where I would just listen to the game on like sports radio or like the ESPN website or whatever, the New York website, and I would do things around the house, and that sucks too. So that sucks too, because you just like, why? I often
why do we spend so much time on that? Why do people end up killing some other being because their team lost to another? I
was gonna say like the why is like, why do they suck so bad? And I think it's because of their organization. But yeah, I mean, people get very invested in sports. And it's a part of our culture. It's that tribalism. Well, I think it's a part of who we are as a species, but it's like, it's a little bit, well, I can't say that because Europe the soccer, the football outside of the U.S. is just as competitive fan wise.
It's not American culture. It's humanity or something. I don't know.
It's that tribalism.
I've never understood it. I mean, they're 10,000 times worse in Europe with those or in all the other countries with football. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think we're just, I think people are just looking for something to be a part of a collective,
But we are a part of it. We're all breathing humans.
Listen, I'm with you. Listen, that's why I don't watch the Jets play anymore. I'm content being just on the planet and enjoying my day. But there are people who just want to be a part of a group.
That's true. Because that's how music is, though. I mean, music is
kind of like genres.
We can all experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your best asset as a producer, do you think?
Best asset as a producer. Let me take a sip here.
What are you drinking?
Water.
Yeah, I remember I asked water or wine, and he chose the water. I literally can't exist without it. But I don't drink coffee. I don't drink anything.
But you did drink tea. Was that?
I do drink tea every once in a while. Yeah, tea is my like go-to for if I need caffeine. All right, so I think my biggest asset as a producer is probably not knowing music theory.
Wow.
I came from like just raw, and I've just collected information as a person, as a producer, through people I've met, and I've like hodgepodged my style together.
There's a freedom in that.
Yeah. So there's a you make your mistakes become your style. You know what I mean? And then that's how you kind of develop, because you have no frame of reference. My only reference is sound, what it sounds like. So I'm just kind of I'm shaping the sounds and messing with the sounds to like kind of get it to like, I think that sounds right, even though technically it's probably ass backwards and probably not the proper way to do it. But I think that's what makes me. I think this distinguishes my sound from other people, because there's so many folks that sound the same. They have the same equipment, do the same things, and they might have gone to school for it, and I don't have any of that.
Yeah, that's a good asset for sure.
Do you think that would have shaped your eye for filming?
Your ear?
If you had not gone to school for film? Do you think that would have given you an edge there as well? Or do you
I had never used a camera before until I got to college. So I think I did go in there pretty raw. And I used a Super 8 camera. I never used a digital camera. So
are you saying a Super 8 with the 5-minute roll film? Super 8?
Yes. No, this isn't like this is like 2001. That shit didn't exist.
I shot my first feature film on a Super 8 camera.
But you realize how quickly that shit goes and how expensive it is. So that was a huge learning curve for me, 100%. I think if I went into it as a filmmaker, right? If I was just like, I didn't want to make a career out of this. I wanted to go in, not to say you can't make a career as a filmmaker, but if I just wanted to make art movies, I think my frame of reference of how I shoot things would be completely abstract, where now it's almost like a trade a little bit,
Well, since I have some things I was going to ask you about movies, but I was going to wait till I got to a little bit. Since we're already there, I'll go ahead and go into that. I'll get into it with a Sophie's choice, but Super Size Me or Roger and Me.
Oh man. Okay, I'm trying. Roger and Me was Michael Moore's first one, right? Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to go Roger and Me, even though it was. I think Super Size Me was an interesting film. That was the McDonald's one, right?
Yes.
I think he kind of proved the point that
he changed McDonald's the culture with that documentary.
Yeah. I gotta go Roger and Me though. That was I just remember that having a bigger impact.
Yeah.
First time I seen it.
Well, so you ended up in the movie making field because you went to college, right? Like that was not where you wanted to go.
No, so I was in graphic design.
Yeah.
And I took a class because I thought a girl was going to be in that class. And I ended up falling in love with camera and film and all that stuff. And I was already into movies, but I didn't know shit about how I didn't understand that. I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know anything about shooting. but I think it was the process, and I think and I used to draw when I was a kid, and I had stopped doing that, and I had done more music stuff. So the camera stuff, I think, worked with my like hand-eye kind of better, where it's like, because I was always better at sculpting than I was at drawing. So I think there's something about like, I don't know, like me being able to kind of like put my hands on like what I'm filming and have it like instantly kind of respond to me, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I fell in love with the process of camera, shooting a camera basically.
Well,
sorry. Yeah.
Well, so you're a camera operator and a DP with director photography. You worked on the Netflix movie We the People, which was
I didn't work on the movie. I shot the conversation. There's a extras that was it was a conversation between the Obamas, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, who produced it, and the directors.
Oh, did you? So did you film scenes? Were the Obamas there when you were filming?
No. So what happened is the Obamas produced that documentary for Netflix. It came out, and then we shot something, a separate like extra like what would you call that? Like
B-roll stuff, or not B-roll?
No, it's a completely it's like a completely separate video on Netflix that you can watch. It's like an interview conversation between the Obamas and the directing
like
couple.
when you're watching a BBC film, like they'll always say, if you want to watch more of this.
Exactly. It's like if you have a DVD, you know, like in the extras, you see like interviews, so something like that. So, but that is also on Netflix too that you can watch.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was a cam op for that.
Yeah, because I was going to ask if there were a lot of like security protocols working with the Obamas.
Yeah, so I didn't find out till the day before that it was with the Obamas. I figured it was going to be, I knew it was somebody high profile. I figured it was going to be government because I live in the DC area. But they told me the day before, like, we need this, and this because we're going to film with President Barack Obama tomorrow. I was like, wait, what? What the fuck?
That's awesome.
And it was ill because we got to see, they had, I don't know how much security there, because I was trying to keep track in my head how many different types of security folks I saw, but we filmed in this like cafe, but they had undercovers all in the neighborhood. We were in the, I think the Shaw neighborhood of DC. And I mean, it was like, they had the jogger, they had the dude reading
like what you see in the movies.
Wow. But the illest thing was, one of Michelle Obama's, like I think it was like her personal guard kind of like dude. He ended up, they were like, show the crew your knife, show the crew your knife. And we didn't see, he was like this like 50-year-old like dad looking dude. And I don't know where he pulled the knife from. I just like turned around. The knife was like this.
It was
big.
like a Dundee, like Crocodile Dundee.
He just pulled it out. It was like, shh. And then put it back, and we were just like, holy shit. It
was like a Conan sword.
Oh, man. It was like, where the fuck is that thing? And how did we not see it? But, I mean, that's just like, you can't judge people by who, because he just looked like a dad. And it was like, damn, this dude's like a Navy SEAL, you know?
They had totally like a shitload of like
security
protocols.
Yeah, they don't mess around, yeah.
Well, speaking of security protocols with filming and everything, I did want to ask you if you had a feeling, since you are a camera operator and you're a director of photography, wondering if you have an opinion on the Helena Hutchins accident.
Shouldn't happen.
Because that's your position, right?
Yeah, if you're operating the camera.
I don't. She was the same as you.
I mean, it doesn't happen as often with a documentary, but
that's correct. But there should never, ever, ever be live ammo on set.
There shouldn't even be a gun that can carry live ammo on set.
Yeah, so it's like how I don't understand.
Have you even looked into? Have you read any about that or any? I can't figure out how it happened. It's so unclear.
In the beginning, I read some of the articles. I think I read one in the Atlantic. It was that or New York Times. I think it might have been New York Times, and they were saying that the gun didn't even go through the weapons expert.
Yeah, which makes zero sense.
Yeah, it's like, what? So they're gonna cover that shit up and they're gonna handle that stuff in court. Because I just like somebody's at fault, and that's shit again.
You know what sucks too? The what do you call him? The one that operates the handles the guns, the armor.
Yeah, armor. Yeah, yep.
It was her first gig.
Yeah,
and her dad is a famous,
like a legend.
Armor.
Yeah.
So shit, man. Yeah, you know what happens when something like that happens too? Sometimes when you're operating in spaces, you kind of been doing it, so you kind of like forget about things. That should never happen with guns. I've worked on movies. We've had guns on some of my movies. Like, that is so serious to me. Like, there shouldn't even be any ammo anywhere near. But anyway, if when something happens, all of a sudden people start. They would never be a liar. They're probably good people, but all of a sudden you kind of start tweaking your story a little bit.
What they said they started.
A liar and,
they obviously other two. They also started cutting, like, because something happened where the crew left the set. So right. So they were cutting corners with time, cutting corners with budget, cutting corners with protocols, and when you do that shit, that's when shit happens. You know,
so someone's died.
And like that girl was young, who was both the DP and the armorer. So it's like there aren't that many female DPs out there. And,
I know it's a bummer.
It's
she was right.
It's just a shitty situation.
It's totally shitty.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that movie will ever get finished?
No.
That was fast. That was a fast answer. I have no idea. Yeah,
because Alec Baldwin will not go back on set and do that. He's he's holding the gun that shot that. He doesn't. Alec Baldwin doesn't. It's not like he needs the money, so it was probably a passion project. And why would he put himself through?
Yeah.
So I didn't answer.
It's like trauma.
I answered that quick, but
I mean, you're right, because like it's like you're reliving a trauma that people probably don't want to have to.
Yeah, how awful. Yeah, that's just I wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I mean that shit, you got to take that seriously.
That Bliss that recent happened a couple of years ago with Bliss and Esso's music video.
Yeah, oh wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, Stuntman. It was when Bliss and Esso went away for a little bit, it was because they were shooting a music video and the stuntman suffered a bullet wound.
Oh damn. There was something that happened in the DC area like 2 or 3 years ago with someone on a train track. And I think that was the DC area. Or Philly or something like that. And they thought that it was not a live train track and someone got hit by a train.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, can you imagine? Oh Jesus.
It's like but it's like I don't know.
Someone is responsible though.
Someone's responsible. It's like you can't fuck around, I don't know.
You can't cut any corners.
Yeah, especially with something like that. It's like if it's like wardrobe, I okay. Or you know what I mean? But like on a fucking train track, like why would you put yourself in that situation?
And some of that's what you're doing. You're trying to make movies for cheaper. So if it's like a low budget one, it's not okay, but you can make sense of like, oh, I see why that happened. It's a low budget fucking. They didn't have fake prop guns or But that's there's ooh-wee. On the lighter side, what about Burt Reynolds or Ryan Reynolds?
Oh my God. This answer may surprise you and people, but I'm going Burt, even though Burt was kind of an asshole. Just like looking at as far as movies go, I know more Burt movies than I do Ryan Reynolds. Even though I like Deadpool, but I like Longest Yard. What
about were you ever Smokey and the Bandit guy?
No, I mean I know of him. I mean, maybe I don't choose Burt Reynolds. Can I just pass on both of them?
Wait,
yeah, you can.
He died
I'm gonna pass on.
Yeah, Burt did die too, but he was an asshole. But I loved those movies. I loved Smokey and the Bandit.
I mean, I remember my dad loved Longest Yard, so that
the original Longest Yard.
Yeah, the original one. Yeah. He was
not the Adam Sandler
quarterback.
one.
Nah, I never saw the Adam Sandler one.
Yeah, the original Longest Yard was a good one.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, so I watched Longest Yard. I like Deadpool, but fuck, I don't.
You don't want to. You don't have to pick either. Fucking make them both die. What about this? I asked you this in the last one, but I didn't give you these two choices: Christian Bale or Crispin Glover.
Okay, so Crispin Glover is the dude from Back to the Future, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know any other movies that he's been in. I know he played like some kind of weird guy in another movie.
He did. That movie is called. Oh, and he's so good in that. And I can't remember what it's called. He was also the bad guy in the Charlie's Angels movie with Cameron Diaz. He's just an interesting guy. He actually has a really interesting story, and I can't recall what it is right now. But.
Yeah, it's that interesting that you just
it's so interesting. I don't know.
I mean, so he's interesting is the right word for that dude, Crispin Glover, because I remember him being in movies and him having just like, whoa, that's like whatever his what was his dad's name? George. He was George McFly. I'm like, damn, like this dude has transformed himself. I still gotta go Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just such a good actor, even though he was an asshole to that person on set. He's got so many good movies that I like that.
You got any fucking idea about, hey, it's fucking distracting having somebody walking up behind Bryce in the middle of the fucking scene? What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good because it's useless now, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
We won't go into that again because on our first conversation, I like one of the biggest things I was bummed about was like we got to go off about the whole Christian Bale story and.
Oh yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's that one guy again.
I always want to get on recording. Oh, good for you.
that was a really good.
I love it.
Invitation, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let me ask you this. Can you tell me about Robust? Was that a group that you were in? What's your involvement with Robust?
So Robust is a rapper, MC from Chicago.
Oh.
I met him back in the early Scribble Jam days. And we kind of connected, and I connected with him. He connected me with Galapagos 4. And we ended up putting out an album called Stick Figures together.
Oh, okay. Stick Figures is you and Robust.
It's me and Robust. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So me and him are both rapping on it, and I produced the entire album. But
you didn't produce any Robust albums?
Yeah. So I produced like 3 songs on his Potholes in Our Molecules album that he put out on Galapagos. That was another like pretty like big step for me in my career.
Early on too.
Yeah, that was like 2004. Yeah, so that was before I signed with Sage and put out Ugly Truth.
Oh, well, are there stick figure things in the future, or is stick figure done?
No, that was
stick figures a stick in a mud.
Yep.
What did he? Does he? So El Foto Grande, that's an album, I guess, one of Robust album.
Yes.
I guess it won't matter because you weren't on it. Because I was listening to this song, this Hosognato song on that album, and it's fucking the grooviest jam ever. And I was like, what? How this?
I wonder if I don't know that. I don't know that song.
Well, and I couldn't.
He works with good producers.
I didn't notice. I didn't get a sense of your style on that, and I was like, "Is Mopes part of that?" I couldn't figure it out. So I'm glad that I wasn't wrong.
I think he worked with a bunch of different producers on that album, but I'm not 100% sure.
What about this? Brother Ali or Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali.
Easy. Rambo or Rocky?
Rocky. I love Rocky.
You do.
Rocky.
You're doing boxing, right?
I work out box. I do like light sparring and stuff. I would never ever call myself a boxer, but I grew up a huge fan of boxing. My dad was a huge boxing fan. There's a huge boxing community in Rhode Island. The Vinny Pazienza is from where I'm from. He was a middleweight champion. He's the dude that broke his neck from the motorcycle accident. Fucking came back. Came back and boxed again. Oh man, yeah. He's So yeah.
But you don't like go in the ring and box. You do box for training though.
Yeah, I do like light sparring. Yeah, I'll do light sparring and stuff. Yeah.
Who wins a fight between Balboa or Tyson?
Come on, man.
I don't know. I mean, I know one of them's not a real character, but
there's this really, I don't know what movie it was. I think it was Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang, I think. But it's like Chevy Chase was like this gambling doctor, and he kept placing. He like lost like a really bad bet because he bet for Rocky, I think, against Apollo Creed, some shit in the round. But yo, I mean, yo, I love Rocky movies, but yo, Tyson is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
How do you feel about him coming back into the ring? Or did that already happen?
So, have you heard his podcast?
I listened to I only listened to 2 episodes.
Okay, you have to. I loved it for many reasons. I think it's great for. I mean, this dude has transitioned. Like he's gone through so much stuff, and he's kind of pulled a 180 on his life, kind of thing. Yeah, and you know, he's talking about therapy. He's talking about trauma. He's crying. He's getting emotional, and I think for a black man of his stature, to
or any man of his,
I mean, especially I think that community, because you don't see that from a lot of times. Men weren't allowed to be like that. You know, you weren't like it was almost like looked down upon. You know what I mean?
He was robbed of it from his upbringing. I mean, he was robbed of like actual emotions.
So for them to see this, like the champ being vulnerable like that, I hope is doing numbers for the community. You know what I mean? That's how I'm seeing it. Where it's like it's giving people the like, oh shit, like what, you know.
I don't have to be that.
I don't have to be that, or I went through some shit. Maybe I should go into therapy, or I should think about the traumas that I've been through. You know what I mean? So it's I'm seeing that all that stuff as a positive. Like it's,
because he's exposing. I mean,
he's exposing a community who's
been deprived of it.
I mean, who's been deprived of it. You know. Yeah. So and then he's dude smart as shit, and I think that's the one thing is that he got put in this light of like this animal thug that the media kind of put on him, and maybe Don King did to sell tickets, but he's like a historian of boxing, historian of philosophy. He's just an interesting dude. So to hear him show different aspects of himself is I think is great, you know?
Yeah, I think what even is more triumphant is he was the way he was brought up, training and everything. They weren't giving him they weren't teaching him. They were just turning him into a fucking killer in the ring.
He's a machine. Yeah.
But the fact that he turned around and made something even better, because I loved him when he first came out. I loved him. I love watching him destroy people. When he fell, and he fell far from that Foreman fight. When he bit his ear, I fucking hated his guts.
Holyfield.
I couldn't sorry, Holyfield. Yeah. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. And all my friends were like sharing, like, oh, this is awesome. And I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. I'm watching a man. You could see.
Yeah, he went to a level that you're not supposed to go to, sportsmanship kind of shit. Yeah.
He fell apart. And I hated his guts.
That's it. But I think you said it. It was watching a man fall apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
looking back on it.
He turned around and came out, and then his show on Broad, like everything about him, he has proven he is someone to look up to. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Well, I also think it just shows people are human. You know what I mean? And you gotta allow people to be able to transform themselves.
Yeah, shit. Now we're saying that though. I do gotta. I mean, now I'm thinking about like listening back. I mean, yes, he's like he has the rape charge. Like that's fucking God damn it! Now I gotta go. Like I'm speaking about how I'm glad that he's made that transition. There are some shit that I can't just go flat out and say the man's great.
Yeah.
But I'm also believe people should be able to shit. Now I just put my foot in my mouth.
I mean, dude, it's like it's that thing where it's like you can't. I think it's well, I'm saying it's like it's what you do. It's what you do after. You know what I'm saying? Like if like of course like you can't go around doing that kind of shit. You know. But you also got to allow people to redeem themselves. You know what I mean? So
He's kind of a story of recovery and change and progress, maybe within himself, but maybe possibly showing others. Like how.
And I don't think he wants to be put on any kind of pedestal.
No,
you know what I mean? I think he's just like, I'm a man who he talks about it. It was just like, I was an asshole. And he was like, he was just trying to get high, and he was do whatever the fuck he wanted. And now he kind of transformed himself. And I think he's a little bit more humble, you know? So I think it's definitely I think it's okay for people to make mistakes, and people make the worst kinds of mistakes, but you got to let people. That's what the prison system should be. You got to let people try to transform themselves and reform themselves and things. Not to say that they're you forget about what they did. You know what I mean? But I think everybody has a chance to be forgiven.
Yeah, that's on point. Because I get uncomfortable because I think about the victim of the crime, and I go like, I can't imagine the victim ever being like, well, okay, he's changed. You know what I mean? So I'm being empathetic to the. Yeah, that's one of those shaky situations. But I don't want to deny the fact that someone has made a change and is probably making lives better for a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's what
you do with that.
It's like what you do. What you do with it, you know, and like, and again, I don't think he's trying to be put on any kind of pedestal as like, I'm the ideal man. Like I've never, I'm the greatest thing. I don't think he's trying to do that.
Right.
I think he's just, he realized that, again, I think he's just been humbled enough that he is, just trying to put more positive out there than the negative shit, you know?
Yeah. If you can change, if you can put more good than what you put in the bad, you should be, that should be noted. I've rambled you off so much, man. Let's do a trivia question real quick. What do you want? Easy, medium, hard, or impossible?
We're gonna go medium.
Do you remember what your question was last time?
Yeah, it was the flower. It was the flower. It was like this. Statham or something.
I don't.
And then Donald Glover, the Childish Gambino.
Right.
What did you say? You said medium?
Yeah, I said medium.
Okay, let's go medium. Here we go.
All right.
This one's oh shit, I don't know. What is the name of the angel who gives aid to George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh my God, fuck! I don't fucking know. Oh, hold on. Let's see.
I tried to help.
Gabriel?
Oh no. Well, no. What?
Okay, hang on.
Adrienne?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, that's right. You haven't.
I think Gabriel's like.
It was Clarence.
Clarence.
I know.
That's the name of a donkey, I think. And something, I don't know.
That timer went off. I know that's not what we're going by, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let me fire off a couple of things for you. Being that you're into movies,
time out. Where did you get these trivia questions from?
It was a game. I got the game for Christmas, and I've never used it. It just sat there, and I'm like I'm gonna put that in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I don't just make them up.
Okay.
Well, have you ever? There's this movie, right? Because I want to ask you this because you make movies, or you're part of the movie making process. Yeah. So, have you ever heard of this movie called Very Cool Christmas?
No.
Okay, it's a shitty movie, but
okay. That's okay.
It has this. This is what's fucking crazy to me. It has two titles because it's two different movies: Very Cool Christmas and Too Cool for Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. Okay. They shot. It's two different movies. In one of the movies, the main character's her parents are two gay men. In the other movie, it's her parents are a woman and a man. So when they shot the movie, they would shoot the scene with the two guys. If there was, if it was a scene they'd shoot with the two guys with the dads, and then they would shoot the exact same scene right after with the mom and the fucking. No,
where is this?
So it was a Canadian. I think it's a Canadian-made movie. But
Canadians.
It was. I think it was 2004 or 2005. Okay. But it's the first time I've ever heard of it. I don't.
They should have just made the movie about a man and a wife who the dad is figuring out, like, okay, maybe I am gay.
Whoa, that's deep.
I think that's the right way they should have done it. But the bad part of it is that the mother, why even fucking do that?
I know that sounds bizarre. Well, it's like, are you not comfortable enough putting two?
No, that's why they did it. No, that's exactly why they did it.
So they made
so it's like you just shoot just in case you're like, just in case we feel like we're comfortable with this in like 6 months from now, we'll put it out.
They're both released. So I think
what they want to do like a test of what did better? Oh.
No, they planned. I think the U.S. version is the mom and dad, and the Canada version is because they released both movies. That's why one's called Very Cool Christmas and one's called Too Cool Christmas.
So which one's the American one? Is the American one Too Cool?
I think the American one is Very Cool Christmas, and that's the one with the mom, and the. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I know. It's fucking crazy, right?
Wow.
It seems like a lot of work.
The cover is the same too.
Yeah,
except
everything.
they swapped
It's literally everything is
the
exactly the
mom.
same.
So they just did it for the different markets.
Yeah, but that seems shitty to me. That's
really
basically
shitty.
You're like, oh, we're not comfortable with gay, but we kind of are.
Yeah, we're comfortable showing the Canadians the gay, but we're not comfortable showing.
And you'll know, like, I can't remember the guy that plays Santa Claus in it. He's a famous guy. He's really orange.
Okay.
Trump?
No, that doesn't matter. I don't know. I thought I'd run that by you if you've ever seen that. No, people should go and look into it.
Oh my god!
Too Cool for Christmas.
Oh yeah, Too Cool for Christmas.
That's
oh
weird.
my god!
I can't let you leave without doing a couple of these ones. Rodney Mullen or Rat. Do you know who Rodney Mullen is?
No.
Oh,
Skater.
yeah, he
He's
was
the
the one.
skater? Oh,
He
okay,
was
I don't know much about
he was one of the guys that did all the crazy tricks before anyone could do it. He rode one of the little tiny boards, and there's a great movie about him. But yeah, you know,
what was the name of the movie?
It's Pal Peralta's movie.
Okay.
You were gonna.
I'll check it. Rodney Mullen,
He's
okay.
a genius. Yeah, the guy's a fucking genius. He's kind of a madman, and it's
Okay.
and that's what's fantastic about it. But yeah, I was gonna do the Rodney Mullen or Rodney Dangerfield.
I gotta
That
go
one's
Rodney
easy.
Dangerfield. Yeah, even though he's a piece of shit too, but what are you gonna do? You know?
Caddyshack or Back to School.
Caddyshack.
So I'm bringing it up because of Rodney Dangerfield. So as you were prolific, you released the album Dangerfield. And I just wanted, for people who don't know, for people that are on my show, we did go over this last time, but I thought it was interesting. I thought maybe you could just mention.
Yeah, so I went down I think it was like a YouTube rabbit hole of Dangerfield. I knew who Dangerfield was back in the day, but for some reason I went into a rabbit hole on YouTube of Rodney Dangerfield. And I started to find out who he was before he was Rodney Dangerfield. So he was Jack Roy, and he was a very like clean-cut 1950s suit-wearing comedian who didn't really do too well. So what he did is he stopped being a comedian and he got married, had kids, and I think he was like selling paint or selling, he just became like a salesman. And then he ended up getting divorced and decided to go back into comedy, but kind of flipped his whole script as far as his persona goes and became Rodney Dangerfield. And it was interesting to me because at that time I was like, it's not that I knew that I was kind of coming to a halt of like, I had my like 2 kids, and I was like, I just don't think this is something I'm going to keep doing forever. So I was like, I just wanted
your rap career. Or
my rap career. So I was like working on this last album. I was like, I'm going to call this Dangerfield because there felt like some similarities as far as like what we were in our career. So I was like, I'm gonna call this, and then it's like if I ever do rap again, I think I'm gonna change my name. I'll probably, I'll come at it from like a different angle. And yeah, then sure enough,
it happened.
7 years later, it happened. But yeah, and so like that, I there was just a part of me of like people reinventing themselves, and I think that I was at that stage of my career as prolific is like I had that name when I was so young, and who I was just different. Like I was just a different person from that teenage kid who started rapping and all that stuff. So it felt right to go in that like a reinvention if I was gonna go back into music. So yeah, the Dangerfield title was an ode to him. Yeah.
Do you think it's a reinvention or a reintroduction of who you actually are?
Yeah, that's probably a better better way to phrase it. Yeah.
Which do you think Rodney was? Do you think he was the nice guy, or do you think he was just kind of doing that, thought that was the way to go, but the real guy was who most people know Rodney Dangerfield as? Not making a parallel of him being that real dirtbag, but...
So I think, I'm looking at myself, it's like, it's more of a it's more of like a reintroduction of who I am as a person. I'm not going to write the same things as I was when I was a kid, and I also, like, my experience with the music industry is completely different. Yeah, like I didn't know who I was when I was 17 as far as an artist and what I wanted to do career-wise, and now I'm like a dad with a career, and I know that I love music so much that I am going to do this until the day I die.
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna pee? Oh my god.
So what else is going on? What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you doing in all that?
Boycotting doing these podcasts.
Okay.
For the longest time.
Okay. Because they take up a lot of time and energy.
Well, just because I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's a podcast. The Obamas have, everybody has a podcast. Why are you wanting to do a podcast? I think it's dumb. But then again, like, Art by Tai is our business. It's a small business. It's he and I. And I'm like, well, if you're going to do this, I'm going to have to help you because it's part of my, because even though it's he who does all the work and a lot of the heavy lifting, like, I don't want to, did you just pee on the grass?
That's the worst, most unprofessional, like, shittiest thing, but holy cow.
Did you just pee in the yard?
I did. I went out in the grass. As I've gotten older, like, I for some reason cannot hold in me anymore. I am so sorry.
You also drink like a gallon of water.
I did.
Yeah, someone who's going to pee in their own grass in their own house never has to apologize for that, because I know that you had a serious situation going on enough that you have a bathroom somewhere, but you had to go there because that was the.
I had to. Well, we are in the not the gallery, in the studio. This order had to go.
It's detached.
It's detached. God damn, I'm sorry, man.
You're all good. Well, I'm just glad it's nothing serious. You know.
I hope you peed on the bamboo. I want that to die.
I did. No, I peed where you told people to bury. We have oh no, it doesn't. We have a raccoon too that then I'm trying to like mark my shit or mark my territory.
Smart as fuck. Oh my god.
Yeah, because the raccoons and possums, they don't like human pee.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, they are real smart.
Yeah,
they are,
and they are very cunning. Yeah, and there's a cool documentary on PBS. I love the PBS nature documentaries. But there's a really cool one on raccoons.
Oh, I'll definitely check.
Cool.
Do you happen to know what it's called?
I think it's called raccoons.
Yeah. Did you see that? Sorry, go ahead.
I say if you just Google PBS nature raccoons, it'll come up.
I was going to ask you, did you see that video that went viral maybe a couple months ago with that old guy who was feeding the raccoons hot dogs, and there were just like 50 raccoons that come out.
Oh my god!
And he just comes out with a case of hot dogs, and it's like they're everywhere.
I just hope it wasn't at his house, because they're gonna remember.
It was on his porch.
God. Yep. They're gonna knock on the door.
But that seems like he's like the crazy cat lady, except for he's the raccoon man.
All right, I'll hit you with the two other ones that are features of the show. The one is the random information, so I'm going to give you the random information. I'm supposed to spread these out throughout the show, but we get talking and I forget.
Yeah. Then you run out and pee in the grass, and then shit happens.
I can feel my brain debating it. Will that stay in the show, or will I edit that out? I don't know, because I definitely want to be honest about what's happening. But I couldn't. I was dying. Here's the random info. So WD-40, we know what WD-40 is.
Yeah.
It was created in 1953 by a company called the Rocket Chemical Company. And does anyone know what the name indicates? Where the name came from?
Was it Was it a part of NASA? Like rocket fuel or something?
Well, so the name is what it does. It's water displacement, WD.
Oh, WD. I thought you were talking about the rocket company's name.
WD-40.
Okay.
Yeah, water displacement and how many attempts it took them to perfect it, which was 40 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
Interesting.
WD-40.
It has a good smell.
You like that smell?
I do.
God.
I love the smell of WD-40.
So in between my final philosophical question, because it came out too late, I'm going to let's go 4 quick Sophie's choices.
Okay. Let's do it.
Tyler Swift or Tyler the Creator?
Taylor.
Oh my!
I was doing it. I know, but I was doing it in
an Irish accent.
No, I was gonna. I was like, should I do it in an Irish accent or like a country?
It was a little bit of both. It felt like
Tyler Swift, or Tyler the Creator.
Okay. All right. So I'll say this: I'm not a big fan of Taylor Swift, but she gets 100% gets my respect because she was like a young woman. Who like wrote and produced her own songs, figured out a way to like navigate herself as a young woman in the music industry. So tip of the hat to her.
And she's got that cool story about losing. She lost all of that, right? She didn't own any of her originals.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I just knew that she like wrote and produced a lot of her stuff. Like she was involved in a lot of that stuff.
She lost all of. She didn't own any of it, so she got super huge and famous. But I think she owns all of her.
She just re-released everything.
Yeah, that's what she did. She re-recorded everything, or something like that. Re-released it, and now she owns them. It's a really an interesting story.
Yeah. So I mean, she gets my respect. I mean, I like some of Tyler the Creator's music, but I'm probably gonna go Taylor Swift.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
My son's a huge Tyler the Creator fan, and he turned me on to him. And I don't know that I love it all, but I love how experimental it is, and he's so famous. Like he's
I mean, he's got like that rugged voice.
Got a nice deep voice.
Yeah, he's got got like the ideal rap voice, and he does. He's been pushing the limits creatively, but I feel like his music isn't for me.
It's not. Yeah, same with me. It's not for me. That's what I tell my son, and I'm like, my son will like kind of get bummed when I'm like, I don't like this really, but it's not for me.
Yeah,
but I like how experimental it is. If you consider it kind of, I mean, should basically be pop. I mean, it's kind of pop rap, right? Because I mean, he's super famous with his music.
I mean, there's a lot. I feel like a lot of his solo stuff kind of borders that line of poppy, hip hop, electronic kind of sound. But I mean, it's just like with him, I still feel like it's hip hop. It's just hip hop kind of on that branch. You know what I mean? It's branching off generation wise. So I don't have any problems with dude. I'm going Taylor Swift just because on the strength that she's on a respect thing.
Okay, mountains or beaches?
Beaches all day. Yeah.
Okay, here's one that's not. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I'll do this one. Fuck it. I mean, it'll be easy for you, but muddy waters or Buddy Peace?
Oh man. I mean, I love Muddy Waters music. Grew up on it. May have sampled some of it when I was younger. But I gotta go Buddy Peace. He's like the ultimate homie. He's probably top 3 dudes I've ever met in the music industry. I think Alias being up there as well. So yeah.
Does Buddy do some stuff on Alexander Brown's album, right? Or did
he does. Yeah, he did cuts on Black Lick's album. He did cuts on my EP. He did cuts on Alexander Brown's. He's doing cuts on basically all the projects that I'm coming out with in 2022.
How and he's also against him.
Nah, man. I put an album out with him, and we had never met each other because he's in the UK and I was in Rhode Island at the time. But we ended up doing a tour with Scoobiest Pip in 2013. But me and him was just like, instantly, we were just buds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just got a good heart, good dude. And as far what I think he's doing now is he's a podcast editor.
Oh,
he's a podcast editor. Or he's like a sound designer for podcasts. I think Hackles is the name of the company that he's working with. So he's still doing his thing and busy. So and as far as I know, he's working on music too. So, but yeah, I gotta go Buddy Peace.
Yeah. But yeah,
even though Muddy Waters, I mean, if he wasn't someone who was like my, like a homie, I would go Muddy Waters. But yeah, Buddy Peace. Yeah.
All right. The final question before the philosophical question: what was your first live show that you ever went to?
Oh, like concert?
Yeah.
Man.
As a kid?
Yeah. Your first ever. I would imagine it was a kid, unless your first concert was in your adult years.
Man, I can't remember my first.
What was the one that you?
I can tell you. Remember, like I went as like I think I was like 16, 17. I saw KRS at Lupo's, and he was like 40 minutes late, but fucking murdered it.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes into the show, it was just, I had never seen that much control. I think, and that was like
how old were you?
I think I was like 16, 17.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was hard. You couldn't really get into, was it the Strand? The Strand was the place in Providence that had most of the hip hop shows, but there was a lot of gun violence there, and you couldn't really, it was either like 18 plus, but locked down. Like you couldn't go in with the fake ID to get in.
Right.
And I think it was an all ages show, KRS. So I'm pretty sure I was like 17 when I saw him at Lupo's. But that just as a MC, I was like, he just kind of laid the whole like why he is who he is. And
you saw immediately.
Everybody, he just had complete control of the audience. And watching him versus in the verses against Daddy Kane, he still has it. The dude is incredible.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about 2 words from his lyrics since about George Floyd. Like every week or so it pops into my head. I finally understood what he was saying when he was saying the officer overseer, and he said over and over
overseer.
And over. And it took me like how many years ago was that to finally understand what you're saying.
He is he gets his props in the community, and he gets his props in the underground community, but he doesn't get enough. I think he doesn't get enough respect. I think with the verses help a new generation understand who he is, but he's an incredible writer, incredible performer. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, he is. That's why he's usually like,
he's the teacher,
top. Yeah. All right. The philosophical, oh no, she just said something about lyric. I wanted to ask you this. Do you have a favorite lyric by anybody? Or a favorite line that you always comes to mind when you think of something?
Man.
Guess not.
I should have fucking prepared for this shit. Well, you know how it is. Like now I'm racking the brain. I mean,
well, without thinking, is there like you just sitting there and like you all of a sudden this one little lick comes into your mind? I have one. I'll give it to you to help you find yours, because mine's a tiny one.
Yeah, tell me.
Mine is, it's like whenever I'm doing anything, if I'm running, it just comes in my head. But I love this lyric. Even J. Rue calls me the damager. And I don't know why, but I've loved that forever. I can't remember.
Is that Guru, maybe?
No, I can't remember who says it.
Even J. Rue
calls me the damager. But I've always loved it's stuck in my head. I recently now have a new favorite, and it is that it's constantly going on in my head. I write rhymes for the reason that you don't, you fuck. I love that so much.
Oh man,
that's from your boy.
Oh yeah, I remember when I first heard that, I was like, "Damn!" Like that was the way to start it off.
That's how the album starts. It's great.
Yeah, but that was one of the last songs that we made. That and
the intro.
Yeah, the intro and Dumb were the last 2 songs that we had produced. We did them in like 2 weeks.
Was that the strategic to put the intro at the first?
Well, I knew that was going to be the intro beat, just because of when I made it. It was just it just starts off and it's just like 1,000 bricks, like it's so like hard and yeah. So I knew that the song was going to be in here, but I didn't hear the lyrics yet. But once I heard it, I was like, this is perfect.
I write rhymes for the reasons that you fuck. I did shows with major artists and realized that they suck. All my heroes ain't dead, they just making a living. I know a whole lot of bitches and ain't none of them women.
Because I already had it timed out. Like I knew it was going to be a short song, so I sent the I think a minute 30 beats of Black. To keep it constrained, and then he killed it. So.
Yeah, those are powerful.
Yeah.
So, did you come up with one? No.
So I mean, I can think of well, actually, when you said that, it made me think of, remember Blase Blase, that Danger song?
Yeah.
When the East is in the house. Oh my God, Danger. Yeah. that came to me, even though it's not a favorite.
Oh my God.
But that's actually, so that song. I mean, I remember I was a freshman on the basketball team. That was like, I would listen to that in my head, like my Walkman. That was like a staple when I was a kid. That song, that and the Onyx, All We Got Is Us. That was a big, But yeah, okay. So if I had to like think of a lyric that meant something to me, the first one that comes to mind is the Rakim one. I'm gonna butcher it. It's the imagine as you get further and further away, planets become small as balls of clay. The first time I heard that, it just hit me and I couldn't understand it. I was just like, he had taken rap, which is very like in your face,
right?
And then he went into my imagination.
And
I was just like, whoa,
yeah.
I was just like, holy shit. And the way he said it, and I just listened to it over and over and over again. And I was just like, I don't know. It was just so simple, but it showed me what it could do.
Yeah,
what the art form could do, you know?
Yeah.
And because at the time I was listening to like NWA, Public Enemy, and they were very like in your face, you know? But heard that poetic shit. And then I heard him say, it's just like the smooth way he was saying that. I was like, man, this is incredible.
Yeah,
so that line was, it's just as simple as it was. It was just, yeah.
I'm glad that's how you explained that, because I had the NWA, all easy, I was way into that, but they were telling very specific stories with their lyrics, very specific. There's no room to imagine something else outside of that. But then when people were coming around with like De La Soul, or one other, or like Rakim, or they were talking about more poetic, I guess. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. And KRS being the other person that was because I mean the other, so G-Rap, KRS, and Rakim, I think were the ones that for me laid that road of like the writing could go over here. Like you could still be talking about this, but you can also make a reference or a metaphor, an analogy to something, and that's when it changed how I listened to it. Because then I became lyric focused. Whereas before I was listening to the song and like everything was like the beat, and I was memorizing things, but then I started to think more when I was listening to those guys.
It's slightly harder. Maybe I'm generalizing, but it's slightly harder to connect to what NWA is saying. You being a young white.
I mean, so I mean, I got it. I understand. I especially, I was like Rodney King. I was like, Rodney King was 91. I probably heard NWA in like, I don't know, 89.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like police brutality and all that stuff, Malcolm X was there, but like, it was, Rakim flipped it for me. Cause then I started to learn too about like 5%ers and like Nation of Islam and all that stuff. And I was like, oh shit. Like it just kind of like, it took me on a different planet, you know?
I should have said Rodney King or Rodney Dangerfield. That was on my mind. I wasn't.
Oh man, how am I gonna not choose Rodney King? Like fuck Rodney King.
Well, you're one of the ones when you answer the question. That's why I love bringing them to you. It's the same with like when I did him. Sage was our very first interview. Same thing he was doing. I like when people actually like go, oh well, let me see.
Thought
I like
process.
This. Yeah. That's the whole point of them. That's how we get to know who you are. I feel like that's why I do them. I want you to get a sense of like, oh, here's where they're going with it. But that's
I can't just disregard. I mean, maybe it's because I have empathy. It's like I just can't just be like, oh, fuck that person.
Right.
You know, I like to think. I'm a thinker too. Like, I mean, Sage is the same boat. Like we're analytical. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like to just react. I like to like think then react kind of thing.
Did you guys connect? Is that what, do you think that's what you guys connected on?
I think we connected because they're both fucking weirdos. And I think he heard the weirdness in me and was like, I think me and him, and I think there was a mutual respect that him being like a mentor to me and me kind of being, you know, the young, like the little brother kind of thing, you know?
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know, here's your philosophical, when we talked, this isn't philosophical, but when we were talking with Dose One, he definitely knew when I said Adam Driver or Adam Sandler. He goes, I fucking hate them both.
But there's also something to say, someone who knows himself.
I know,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true.
He's like right from the jump, he's like, nah.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard. Then I was like, none of my, the rest of my Sophie's Choice questions are going to be shit. Here's your final philosophical question to close it out.
All right.
Are there limitations to free speech?
Man, that's fucking heavy.
Yeah, he's leaving it all on you.
It's an oxymoron. You can't have free speech and have limitations. That's like if we're talking about it on a pragmatic, logical level, it's just like, yeah, you can't be free in a box, you know? So it's just speech at that point. Yeah.
Okay. That's
your
your answer.
Yeah.
Your answer is no. There are no limitations to free speech.
Yeah, as much I think if you're calling like not to say that I think everybody should be able to say what they want to somebody, but if we're talking about free speech as a ruling, right, as like a law,
you're going with the actual.
You know what I mean? Like
scream bomb on an airplane.
So here's the thing: just because you say it doesn't mean that it's right.
But
right?
you're going
but
technically.
Listen, but just because you say that on an airplane doesn't mean you need to go to jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the difference. It's like you could go and say some real effed up shit to somebody that makes you an asshole. That doesn't mean you should be in jail.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You're going by the law. Like if it's the law of the land, free speech.
Yeah.
There's
well, because again, if
speech.
anything's free,
you
know what I mean. You can't put a fence on it. So
okay.
That's how I think about it.
That's straight from Mopes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that means.
So leave a comment in my YouTube video.
That's right.
I know I always send to get like, oh man, I hope that people don't come at me with something that was. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I
mean, that's the thing. It's like you can't please everybody.
No,
you
know.
Can't. And if then don't call that your free speech. Call it something else.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, I think I agree with you on that. That if that's what the rule is, then no.
Yeah. Believe me, because there's a lot of people I wish would shut the fuck up. But that just because I think that doesn't mean that they can't voice themselves, you know. And that where it gets complicated is on like on forums and social media platforms. Like I don't know, I don't know how you control that, because do I want misinformation out there? No.
Right.
But then maybe we should educate. Maybe we should invest more in public education. You know what I mean?
Education's key.
Yeah. So
see, we locked it out. We went from that question, and it turned out what we learned from Mr. Rogers' episode is education means everything. Well, we also learned don't ever
Mr. Rogers, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, and we also learned don't in the middle of a conversation don't fucking just run out and go pee. But
well, listen. Well, I think what it is, like, if you're gonna do that, that's the bar. You know what I mean? The bar is you're peeing on your lawn somewhere.
Actually, the bar should just go. See if I just stand here and I was like, "I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going right now."
You got a bucket underneath.
I actually have a bucket underneath my desk.
That's gross.
No, I don't. No, I don't pee in it. It's garbage. But I do have a bucket under the desk, and I mean,
you know what? That's dedication, and I respect it. So,
all right. So this is probably going to come out right before your album drop. What do people need to know?
Okay, so I have an album coming out in February titled Unwound on Strange Famous. It should be out second, third week. Just follow Strange Famous, follow Mopes on social media, and you'll get the details when we're ready to announce. And then in March, I have an album I produced with Jesse the Tree called Pigeon Man coming out in March. And then Jesse the Tree and myself have an album probably coming out in the summertime. All Strange Famous stuff.
With Jesse the Tree, is it just
me and him
Mopes
rapping?
And Jesse the Tree, or do you guys have a tight, like a name? Or?
So I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's I should probably figure that out. But yeah. But the one that is dropping in March is me producing for him. So it's his solo, me producing. And then the one coming later will be a group of me producing, but both of us rapping.
Will that one be Jesse? Will that be his debut Strange Famous album?
Yeah, it's good,
awesome.
man. It's got a lot of good features on it too. He's a extremely talented young man and who's funny as shit. And yeah, he's a great writer, great rapper. So
I'm discovering that MCs and rappers are actually stand-up comedians. Everyone I've talked to has
there's a very similar path between rappers and comedians. You know, being on stage with your material, just you with the mic and the audience is something to be said about that. So
yeah. Well, you guys have a great family over there at Strange Famous Records. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I know there's thousands and thousands and thousands of other people that are also fans, but it shows how tight of a family it is out there. So I'm glad that you're on that.
We have
team.
an energy right now. It feels good, and if we're working as a unit instead of trying to do things individually. At this point, you know what I mean? I think we're all kind of hyping each other up, and we're trying to support each other, you know? So it's good.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's important.
It is way important. I think people, I as a fan, I think that makes a difference. I think you can sense it. And
the feedback that Brown's been getting from his album was that people have been enjoying hearing the compilation, hearing people, you know, on different songs with each other, you know? And I think I know in my mind when I'm producing stuff moving forward is to do that, to have more of the folks on the label be a part of it in some way, whether it's being in the music videos, appearing on the album, you know, just something to be involved in. And people have different talents too, not just rapping. There's other things that they bring to the table. So encompassing all that, and again, trying to do it as a group instead of individually, you know?
Yeah, feels good.
It feels good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it feels good. It's a lot easier too, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad we were able to wrap it up with you again. Sorry I chopped it up for so long with you again.
No, it's good. I'm glad that we can, you know, it's a good conversation. So.
All right, man. Well, it was awesome talking with you
seeing you again. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Oh, did you push record? Now I'm fucking scared. Did you?
It's recording.
Okay.
Well, I'm around. I mean, I'm around if you know if you.
We'll go again. All right, man. Cheers. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks, brother.
Burger Kings, murdering herds to their extinct. Self-serving fur minks and splurge on bird wings. Yo, you work the curb, burning what you earn, trying to blur in and turn conservative like game. Rich, cling to your purse with the big.
He's sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. There's an energy about Mopes that I really like. I was really bummed that we had that issue.
Yeah.
But I didn't seem I was bummed for like 10 minutes. Like I said fuck probably 30 times. But then every time I'd say it, I'd tell you like I get it. It was just an accident. Those things happen. But on the back side of that, I was also like, it's not that bad. We get to have another chat with Mopes again.
Yeah.
So
we just had scratched the surface with him last time anyway. So I feel like we got to know him a little bit better and had a better rapport, or had built upon what we started last time.
Yeah, that was fun. Great conversation. I really like the guy. I really do. And like I've always said, I really like Strange Famous. Everyone that's coming out of Strange Famous, everyone that's joined us on the show. Like I sometimes I'm like, wow, it feels like we're like a commercial for Strange.
You are.
I know. But everyone on there, everyone we've talked with, everyone that's shown up with us, they've all been gracious as hell. Mm-hmm. And Sage has been great. It's like Sage lined up all the discussions with everyone that we've talked to, and he was the very first person to step up and be, an interview, on our show, so or our discussion. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of that, and I hope you guys are too. And I hope even if you're not, you will at least go out there and check out some of their music. Consider some of Adrienne's suggestions about donating to your artists, your musicians out there that you listen to and that you're streaming. Be mindful of your waste. Apparently, apparently the free will, or what is it called?
Freedom of speech.
Will.
Free will?
Where you take the clothes. Where you take
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Apparently, Goodwill dumps into the landfill.
Well, no, I'm just saying that they give, it trickles down, but eventually someone doesn't want it, and it ends up either in the landfill or it ends up hurting communities that are trying to make, stand on their own 2 feet.
Well, okay, you got all serious. Because I can't make a joke of like, I wear only fly merch, and that's going to end up someone will be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just found this at Goodwill.
You're giving that to Goodwill?
I mean, at the end when I'm done wearing them on the show, I mean, I wear them the one time on an episode, and then I wear them when I'm wearing my clothes. But then when I've worn it enough, then I always end up at Goodwill.
Yeah, I wear my clothes out. I buy like 3 pairs of pants that last me for like years.
I know and
then once they rip. In the crotch is where they always rip.
Then you cut them into a thong.
Then I try to sew them back together until I go buy more pants.
Yeah. Anything else that we should hammer on? Anything?
Just that if you like the episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or subscribe. Go to ArtByTai for more information on you and your artwork.
I have posted a couple of times on Twitter in the last couple of weeks. So, hey, if you want to be one of the other 25 people that are following me on Twitter, you can follow me there. But otherwise, you can always get me on Instagram. And then it automatically goes to Facebook.
Leave a comment in the...
What are they commenting on?
Well, if they listen to the Mike Tyson podcast.
Oh, yeah. Let us know what you think about the Mike Tyson podcast. I have listened to a couple episodes. I like him.
I didn't realize he was convicted of rape.
Yeah, with Robin. It was Robin. I think she was his wife too, or ex-wife. Not Robin Quivers.
Well.
Yeah.
Anyway, comment if you are interested in Mike Tyson's story.
And then comment if you something.
If you like owls.
If you like owls. Okay, thanks for joining us on DOD45. It was amazing chat with Mopes, and it was a pleasure to have you here as our guests. That's it for now. Cheers. DOD45. Thank you for joining in on yet another episode of the DOD45 Show. Please hit the subscribe or follow button so that you never miss an episode. You can even go one step further by leaving us a review on the YouTube stream or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever it is that you stream our show from. You can find me at ArtByTai on all the socials or at ArtByTai.com. And if you'd like to follow the DOD45 Show on social media, we're at DOD45W on Instagram, or you can go over to our website at DOD45.com where you can shoot us an email, join our mailing list, and watch all of our past episodes. Consider joining us for a live chat on the YouTube premieres of episodes every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Peace.